Okay, so I did this whole like 40-minute video, and then my internet was so crappy that it only recorded 13 minutes of it. So I still have the cards out, and I just want to share the message, and it'll be shorter now, which is good because I don't have to shuffle and pull the cards. So I started off with this beautiful tarot deck that I found at a thrift store up in Thief River Falls, Minnesota, which, if you know the town, it's crazy that there was a tarot deck sitting there, and you don't find them at thrift stores in general typically, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And what I pulled was Eight of Pentacles: learn a new skill or teach someone a skill or expand your current skill set. Or the message that I got also was make a change in some way. So that's the energy right now. This is now until the summer solstice. So right now we're in an energy of, okay, you want something new, make that change, and it doesn't have to be big. And then we got Three of Swords, which is, this is, there is something intuitively, well, the rose, the fairies are mourning the death of this rose. Like they feel like they put everything into this rose and then it died anyway. And so the message was, for many people, you're putting more energy into something that is dying than you are into something that could be very good for you, that is the way that you need to go. And so these go together really well, because it's like, make that change, learn something new, expand your skills. That is something that shifts your path. And anytime you shift, something's got to go. And if you're putting a ton of energy into something that is already dead, that you cannot resuscitate, and this could be a friend, family, it could be a romantic partner. I think for a lot of you, it's more of a situation. Okay. It's more of a place, a job, a collaboration, a project that you're doing with somebody else. It's more of like a group of people. It's where you live, who you live with, that kind of thing. Okay, because I do feel like, because there are more cards here that are showing divine union. So I don't feel like this is going to be about relationships breaking up. This is more about the other things falling away, that need to fall away, that need to die in order for relationship, for some of you, to really flourish. Because then it was the Two of Swords, which is the rose is alive and thriving. And so it's renewal, it's new life. It's absolutely beautiful. And so instead of thinking of it as going back in time, because it's a Three of Swords to the Two of Swords, it's like a full circle. It's like something has to die for something else, which is actually what your new path involves, to thrive. Okay, to be renewed and revived and rejuvenated. And then right under the Eight of Pentacles, which is learn a new skill or make a change, it's fellow travelers, support is all around you. But I focused more on the picture. If you look at the picture, it's this man who's embarking on a new journey. There's a peacock. There's also a peahen down here. The peacock is, this the male, is the female. The peacock is, if you didn't know, the females do not have the beautiful plumage. It's only the males. And he is sitting up there protecting his woman. He is protecting her while she nourishes herself. That's his job. And then you've got up here a citrus tree. And the message that came through was a abundance, yeah, abundance coming from an unexpected place. Okay, so making this change is going to bring about the death of something that you've been putting too much energy in anyway, that is just not going to work out. Okay, and so that something else, let that die, because that's the only way to give new life to the thing that you really want. Okay, and it could be scary, right? It could be what you're letting go of is something you've had your whole life, or for years or decades. It's time. It's, in fact, what I'm seeing for a lot of you is you're dragging around a corpse. It's already dead. You're just dragging around Weekend at Bernie's. You're pretending he's still alive, and he's not. And so then you get this beautiful message of, when you make that change, when you embark on this new path, then you get abundance from unexpected places, and perhaps divine union. Okay. And then right in the middle of the grid, I got, this is what I call my Fool card of this deck. It's not a tarot deck, but he is the Fool card, because he has just come from a war that is over, something that gave him purpose for a time, and now it's dead, right? It's coming in right under the Three of Swords, and he doesn't know what to do with himself. And so he's standing on this cliff. He's still armored up, but his sword is put away. And he is looking out at that sunrise like he is in the moment of realization that he can now go do what he really wants to do because the war is over. Now the war gave him purpose. The war, he may have felt lost for a while. He may still feel lost for a little while he integrates the truth that this thing that he was putting so much energy into trying to keep it alive had to die so that he could realize that, hey, there are these other things. Perhaps he's got a family waiting for him, right? Because perhaps he's got a girl waiting for him, or a guy, or whatever whatever you're leaning. But perhaps he's got a lover waiting for him that he couldn't do anything with because of the war. So now that the war's over, he, like I said, he's in that moment of realization where he's like, holy shit, because that's gone now out of my life. I can go do this. I can go do this, and I can. That's really cool. And so then under the Two of Swords, which remember was renewal, first light, beginning a new cycle. I mean, I don't even have to really explain that. Do I? Like, it's got all 4 seasons on it. It is definitely the end with the Eight of Pentacles. The eight is the Ouroboros, the snake eating itself. The ending flowing right into beginning. Like there is no gap. Okay, there's no purgatory period, but there is at the beginning of a new beginning. There's always an integration period where you feel weird, you feel unsettled, you're grieving still, you're still, maybe trying to recreate what you had, but that everything you need for that is gone. It's dead because it's not serving you anymore. And so it is that cycle. It is that perpetual cycle, but you're beginning a new one right under this renewal, right under this beautiful, the flower is alive again because you let something else go. And then this came through as new horizons, like just new. All you have to do sometimes is make a small change in your daily life. For some of you, this is going to be a big change for a lot of people, I think, but for some of you, it could be a small change. But all you have to do to facilitate change is to shift something in your day-to-day life. Do something different. Let go of something you're not happy with that is not feeding your soul. Let go of it so that you can focus more on the things that are feeding your soul. And you may have noticed too that the things that do feed your soul have been suffering because you're putting too much energy into other things that are already dead. Okay. And then with this grieving and this thing that needs to die, you'll grieve. You need to let it go. And then he's realizing, right, that oh my gosh, I can do whatever I want. Guess what came out right under that? God. Because yes, you can go do whatever you want now because you're creating your life. What do you really want? What do you want to do? Go create it. Go get it for the love of God. And then the last card that came through is a little bit of an enigma. I had to look it up, but it says Saint Sinner. And I got to look it up again because I already forgot. It's about making assumptions. That's right. So the message that came through with this is, see how her eyes are clogged, like she can't see anything. Her third eye is lit up, but it is kind of small. It's not really glowing like it could be. So there's blockage here, okay? There's blockage in the vision, and there's things trying to seep out, but you can't really truly see. And so assumptions are being made. And so because you're putting energy, a lot of energy into something that needs to go, and perhaps it just needs to run its course too, right? But something that is you're putting a lot of energy in, that you've always put a lot of energy in, and before it always made you happy, served your fed your soul. You're putting all that energy in again, and it's not feeling the same, so you're putting more and more and more, and everything else in your life is being neglected. That is causing you to have kind of blurry vision or not clear vision about what you could have. Okay, so let me explain this. So what I'm seeing is, because you're putting energy into, let's say you have a job that used to feed your soul, it just isn't anymore. And then you've got let's say you've got your relationship over here. And so you used to have a pretty good balance. Well, the job is no longer feeding your soul. And so you're putting more energy into it to see if that'll work, and less energy into the relationship. The relationship is suffering. You would rather have the relationship and find a new job, but now because you're putting so much energy over here, and you look over here and your partner is neglected or whatever, the relationship is neglected, you are making assumptions about that, oh, well, but if I go back that way, it's going to be bad because there needs to be some repair work done now because I've been neglecting it. So if I go back that way, what if it ends? What if it ends? And so then it's scary to put more energy back into the thing you really truly want. Okay. And it could be vice versa. It could be the relationship that you've been throwing energy into left and right, and it's just not feeling the same. When you can let it go, then something over here can really take off, because it but you're making an assumption about that thing too. That's what this card is, that you're like, well, you can't see clearly, so you're like, well, it's probably going to be bad, because that's what we do as humans, right? It's probably going to be bad. And so only you know what these things are for you. Like, you really have to sit with yourself and think, what do I really want? What do I want my future to look like? You are source. Source is you. You get to create the reality that you want to have. Now, we have responsibilities, right? We absolutely have. I have kids, right? Well, I created that reality for myself for a reason. So have to find a I have to sit in each moment and be grateful for each moment with my kids, because that's a temporary situation, right? Everything is temporary. And so when my kids are all out doing their own thing, then, then that's when I'll be at, like, oh, holy shit. Okay, because that's feeding my soul now, and it won't always be necessary for me to be so involved in that, right? They're going to be adults and they're going to be doing their own thing. And I'll be able to go really, truly pursue a whole new path. But in the meantime, this energy is coming in for me too. And I get to make the changes in other areas of my life and focus my energy on the things that I really want, to start to build that momentum. Okay. So the things that I really want, for example, a relationship, right? So I am going to make sure that I'm putting the energy into that to build that for the future, because that's the way I want to go. That's the direction I want to go. Because I can throw energy into motherhood all day long, but the reality is my kids are older and getting older every day and need me less and less every day. And it's only going to be a few years before they don't need me hardly at all, right? And so throwing more energy into it is not productive for me. So that's just an example. So those are the messages. And then this was a wrap up card from the Fairy Forest deck, and it's 14, initiate. And I just want to point out the really angry little squirrel in the background. He cracks me up every time. The message on this card, well, it says curiosity, open, warm. But the message that I get from this card is typically, okay, you're going to be, look how she's like turned away from him, but she's still listening. She still hears what he's saying. He's talking smack. And she's like, okay, I hear you, but I am not going to pay attention to what you're saying. Like, I can hear you, but you don't get to direct where I go. So this is going to be about, come the solstice time, because this is for the next month, right? From May 18th ish to the solstice, the summer solstice. You might have people looking at you and the changes that you're making and the things that you're letting go and the things that you're feeding now that you really want. You're going to have people in your life go, what are you doing? Are you crazy? Have you lost your mind? Only you know your heart. What does your heart want? Only you know. And so they're going to be talking smack in your ear, but you're going to hear, and you can acknowledge, okay, I hear you, but this is my life and I'm going this way. And you can spew hate all you want, or you can tell me I'm crazy all you want. And autumn, traditionally, or, essentially anytime a card has like a lush autumny vibe on it, it's abundance. So when you do your own thing and go your own way and ignore the haters, that brings abundance. It brings abundance. It brings all the good things. Everything falls into place when you take intentional steps on your path, following your heart toward the things that you know will feed your soul, not the things that used to and they don't anymore, and they don't, and putting more energy into them is not going to work. It's not the solution. Doubling down on the old things when there's something new that is begging for your attention and is the way that you want to go. Doubling down on the old things is only going to feel like it's working temporarily, and then you're going to realize that it's just not, that you're just more tired, that you're just exhausted now from giving all that energy over here. And now this is suffering over here. But this is what you really want. But now you're looking at it suffering and going, oh, but if I go back that way, what if it's bad? What if it ends? What if it's, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. So you get stuck, right? You get overwhelmed and you get stuck. This is the time to be brave, y'all. This is the time to be brave. It's time to take those intentional steps toward the things you actually want to build for your future. And so that's the energy that's coming in the next month. I hope this resonated with you. Let me know if it did, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.